they have begun. Looks like in the front currently is, well, it's hard to tell. Maybe Hannah Banana, but it looks like Chuck might be pulling ahead here.
I cannot see him.
He is utilizing some underwater tactics to get a little extra speed, it appears. Hopefully he's able to hold his breath long enough. So we look at the rest of the pack here. Doing my best. Muscle Man has actually somehow ran on water for a moment, and he has passed Hannah Banana. And then we have Bradley in what appears to be third, now maybe second at this point. I have lost eyes on Chuck. I see him now. He is underwater, holding his breath for an insane amount of time. Unbelievable. Good training going on there. We also have in-camera shot. We have Tina. Looks like she's rounding out the top 5 at the moment.
About 400 feet.
I have lost eyes on the front of the pack here. Let's maybe pull a little forward here.
You may go low in altitude?
No, no, further ahead. Where is the, is it this dock here? Where they get out of the water?
Do you see bikes down there?
Not yet.
See the fire chief? See the fire truck off to my right?
Yes.
Down there. Yeah, that's the dock right there.
My apologies, everyone. We have lost track of the race here. We're at the dock over here on Calafia.
See someone down there.
I do see, it appears Chuck is approaching first. We've got eyes now with what appears to be Hannah Banana right behind. And Chuck is making it onto the dock as we speak. He is running up the dock now and making his way over. Coming up the first set of stairs, cutting over to the second set of stairs, excuse me. Running across to up to Calafia. Hannah Banana, if I could say it, is behind coming off the stairs, and now Bradley is in third. Pull a little bit forward if you can,
Yeah.
Following Chuck. We're going to try and stick with the front of the race. And Chuck has taken the first turn, approaching Calafia. Oh no, he is doubled back. It looks like he may have gotten lost there, looking for the bikes, and Hannah is first off with Chuck right behind. Bradley in third. And I believe, is that Jeff in fourth? We've got 3 people on bikes. Hannah in first. On Calafia already. Bradley has pulled into second with Chuck in a pretty close third. Bradley is now bumping bikes with Hannah Banana. Going to pull back a little bit on the visual. You can see where Chuck is in comparison. And Bradley is pulling away as Hannah seems to be struggling getting up the hill. And Chuck is now approaching potentially second place as Bradley continues to gain speed. No other participants appear to be within reasonable distance as we take a brief look back and staying with the front of the pack. Chuck has now passed Hannah Banana as we come around the turn at 2006. Hannah Banana now getting left in third. Chuck gaining speed, hoping to catch up with Bradley as they go over the first wooden bridge here on Calafia. There appears to be a local trying to enter the race as well, as Bradley takes the turn onto one of the approaches to Chiliad here right before the metal bridge. Chuck behind him. Hannah Banana still in third. You're going to want to maybe pull ahead just a little bit.
I see him down there.
Take another wide shot here as we see
That
Bradley
train.
still a good maybe 400 feet in the lead. These hills are not slowing him or Chuck down at all. And now coming downhill, Bradley gets a huge jump. Now Chuck the same, catching back up as we go under the bridge in Ratton Canyon through the Cassidy Trail here. Bradley now taking the turn and heading back uphill. Chuck right behind him, closing a little bit of distance, but still 200 to 300 feet behind. Bradley having some issues, and Chuck coming up right on him. Chuck is within 10 feet. They are fighting over. Oh, Bradley over a rock. Holds on, but Chuck takes the lead as he heads downhill and now has got about a 200-foot gap in front of Bradley. No one else in eye shot for us. As we head around the big rock on Cassidy Trail and begin going downhill, Chuck has now made it around that. Bradley is now right behind him as well. It looks like he's got about 500 feet on Bradley now. That is Chuck. Following the trail the rest of the way down, getting very close to the Great Ocean Highway now as Chuck continues to maintain his lead and makes a sharp right turn. I believe that's acceptable with the track mapping. It's going to lead him back uphill. Bradley behind. Now looks like maybe a 600 to 700 foot gap as we go back uphill here. Chuck is now preparing to pass the water tank up here in the 3001 area of the Chiliad Wilderness. Still, these are the only two bikers in sight currently. It looks like Chuck is, he's probably got 1,000, 1,200 feet gap now.
Oh yeah, easily.
Going again through the wilderness here, peaking and now coming back down a hill, approaching the lumber yard. Bradley now making that peak on the hill, but this is allowing Chuck the opportunity to gain even more distance as he's the first one downhill. We are attempting to keep with him through the trees and the rocks. Passing another flare marker and taking the left down to the lumber mill approach. Actually, there is another turn, another loop we've got to take here as we continue to follow Chuck. I'm going to pull back a little bit here to show the distance. It looks like Bradley has closed some of the gap, maybe down to 700-800 feet between first and second place, as he prepares to round the turn that Chuck just went through. Now we are going over the lumberyard and around at this point. Actually, we're passing the lumberyard now, correction. And coming down the final road onto Great Ocean Highway, where the police have stopped traffic from both directions to ensure the safety of all of our participants here. Chuck is now on the Great Ocean Highway, making the approach to Roxwood. I believe that road is that Port? What's this road down here? Portcopio, is it? Bradley has now made the Portcopio approach. Chuck is going over the first bridge, passing the hotel and convenience store, and stopping at the flare, and now running. Bradley is now off at the flare at the hotel and convenience store, and is now off running as well. No other participants within eyeshot. We're going to keep with these gentlemen, but also look back to see if any other participants make it into frame here. But still, only 2 bikes there as we begin to go out of range.
Where is it? Okay. Oh, I see him. Got him. We're going upfield, by the way.
I've lost eyes on Chuck. Where is he?
He below us. Dirt road to the right.
That's Chuck. We've got eyes now again on Chuck. He is passing the dirt turnoff from Polito into Roxwood. Looks like he might be slowing down as Bradley is closed into about 100 feet and is now passing the dirt road himself. Still no other contestant. Actually, there is someone off in the distance that appears to be, I think that is Charlie off in the distance there. She may have attained 3rd place, but I do see her. She is approaching the dual dirt roads coming out of Polito toward Roxwood as we speak, probably a 1/4 mile behind the other 2 participants, as Chuck has officially made it onto the bridge in Roxwood, or approaching Roxwood. And now Bradley is on that as well. And Bradley is actually making up some lost ground. He is maybe 20 feet behind Chuck now as we zoom in for a closer look. And Bradley is within a few feet and has officially passed Chuck on the bridge right before the water hits the bridge there on the Polito side of the bridge. We do see Charlie again, who is roughly 1,000 feet behind the pack. The front 2, rather. The rest of the pack, I should say. I do see Hannah Banana in 4th as she makes the final turn to approach the bridge. And those are the only other participants we do see at this time. Charlie has made it onto the bridge. Now coming back on Chuck and Bradley, who are passing back and forth, 1st and 2nd place as they approach Roxwood. We'll continue to stick with these 2 until the turn into Roxwood, where we'll take another look and see what other participants are closing in. They've now made the right turn officially into Roxwood, now approaching the tennis courts. If you want to hold this spot for just a second, we are going to look back at our other participants and see if we can eyeball them. I do see Charlie. She is preparing to exit the bridge. Hannah Banana is almost halfway in, and I see a 5th one off in the distance, having a hard time making them out as the legs of the helicopter are in our way here. I am unsure. It looks like they still have a helmet on. Hard to identify, but possibly Tina in 5th, if I can remember the outfit correctly. Hannah Banana in 4th, about halfway down the bridge. Charlie has made the turn. Let's go ahead and catch up with the front of the pack, if we could, please. Charlie is passing the tennis courts, is now just past the tennis courts. We're going to go back into Roxwood now and catch up with our leading participants, who are now passing the motel. Hold on, slow up here. That is Bradley, just past the motel. Chuck about 150 feet, I'd give it 300 feet behind. Roughly a football field, maybe a little shy. As Bradley now passes the Roxwood fire station, Chuck has now just breached the beginning of the fire station. Looking back again, Charlie is passing He is halfway past the motel there. Got a couple palm
I
trees
came
in
down
the way
there.
here.
Yeah, I had to get some altitude a little bit here.
Looking back down on the participants, there's Chuck, so that means Bradley is passing the Marina Beach sign as we speak. Chuck is just now entering the shopping area of the Marina Beach, so it's still another 300-400 feet behind Bradley as we're on the final road here, on the way to the finish line there at the water park. I think we'll stick with first and second place for the rest of the race here.
And we
As
can
we approach
always
the finish.
hover. We can always hover when the rest of them come in.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Let's pull forward, though. Bradley's almost out of eye shot for me.
Yeah, I see him down there.
May want a little more altitude, too. Bradley is now making where the road curves here in the new edition of Roxwood. Chuck is... Where is Chuck? There's Charlie, maybe 1,200 feet back. I've lost eyes on Chuck, though. Is it possible that Charlie has taken second place? I hope nothing has happened to Chuck there, as Bradley now crosses the finish line and has officially won the race. I'm having difficulty picking out... Oh, and Bradley has passed out on the finish line. He does not appear to be moving at this point. Here comes Chuck now, crossing the railroad track, approaching the finish line. Another 50 feet to the finish, and Chuck has now officially taken second place. Charlie, not far behind, closing a lot of gap here in the second half of the race, is about to finish, and Chuck is down as well. He's back up, though. Charlie has finished. Fourth place is coming... I don't see anyone else approaching. I thought Hannah Banana was closer than this.
Nope. Bottom left in the curve.
I don't follow.
Down below, coming to the dirt road.
Oh, there is Hannah Banana. She has ran around the cones and is now taking a unique path. And then back around the tree. Has found the dirt road, now working her way back, and is going to take fourth place, pending a disaster here at the end. Still waiting to see if any others approach. But Hannah Banana now 20 feet away from the finish line and has crossed. Does appear that EMTs are checking on one of the participants now. Possibly just making sure everyone's good, has plenty of water. We do have a fifth place coming in. And this does appear to be Tina, from what I can see. Again, with the helmet on, it's hard to be certain, but this is the outfit she was wearing earlier. And now in sixth, we got sixth place coming around. This does look like Justin and his white tie. And a helmet. As Tina does cross the finish line in fifth. Justin will take sixth. Got another one coming here. I believe this is Jeffrey. The second one of the BFGs to cross in seventh place. And we now also have in eighth place, I believe this is Bryce, the event coordinator. Taking eighth place.
Did we lose something?
Ninth place, we do have Wilmer. Wilmer putting in a great effort, crossing the railroad track on the final approach to the finish line, and he gets a final burst of speed as he takes, is this ninth place? Did I lose count? I believe it's ninth place with Wilmer.
I believe so, yeah.
We should have two more participants still, pending a do not finish. I do not see anyone else, though, in my line of sight, as EMTs are checking on the finishers. All three BFGs did complete. Justin is sitting down taking a breath of air, being checked on. I do see another person approaching in 10th place. This is... Let me see who this is. I'm not sure who this is. I don't think we interviewed him. I believe this would be James King looking at my list in 10th place. I apologize for not getting more information on this racer here, but he is now crossing the railroad track and making final approach to the finish line.
Oh, here comes the end
And
of
he
the
is
pack.
officially crossed. And as predicted by most of the racers, our blown up friend who appears to be blown up as he is struggling to catch breath is Jax Little. Quite ironic, because that is the last thing that he is little, very big, strong man, but having a lot of struggles keeping up with this race. But kudos to him for making final approach, crossing the railroad track, getting that final burst of speed, and contestant number 11 has now crossed the finish line and face plants right in front of Wilmer Feigl. And I do believe, I will wait for final confirmation, but that should be our 11 participants. And Bradley is now celebrating, full celebration mode, right behind Chuck. Kind of rude of him, but hey, can't deny someone's happiness in a moment like this, where he is now going to take a new car from Wands. Our final participant, Jax Little, being assessed by EMTs. Congratulations to all the racers. No major injuries from what we can tell up here. Everyone did finish.